Hey everybody, so I just want to make this video real quick. From my last video where I was talking about Raphael's The School of Athens in the Vatican apartments, I pointed out here this is Ptolemy and Zoroaster, and um, Ptolemy is holding this globe earth, and Zoroaster holding the sphere of the heavens. Um, so I just wanted to go over what, well, specifically Ptolemy's model of the universe was, because he was a geocentric um, believer, but he also believed that the Earth was a sphere. So this is what Ptolemy's view of the planets are. This is his model of the universe. Um, in the middle you have Earth, then you have in the smaller ring around it you have the Moon, and then in that flower pattern just outside the Moon you can see that's Mercury, and then that it's like a looks like a cell division. Was it like mitosis going on with Venus, with that dual circle going around, and then outside of that you can see the Sun doing a perfect circle, and then you can see Mars doing a similar pattern to Venus. And whenever you hear, Venus and Mars are regularly compared with one another, men and women type of thing. It's kind of funny when you hear about that. And then you see that they have these similar type of retrograde orbiting patterns in Ptolemy's model. So you don't get that in the heliocentric model. And then outside of that, you can see this is Jupiter and this is Saturn. So what these are called epicycles, EPI cycles. And how they work is that they're each planet is attached to what is called a epicircle. And I don't know if you can see it in the video, but I'm going to use Mars as an example here. You can see the circle, right? It's basically a disk that the planet is attached to, and it uses it as it rotates around that circle, and this is what causes an epicycle and these retrograde motions here. And retrograde being from Earth perspective, we see it going, if we see it going right to left and then all of a sudden it goes left to right, that's what it's doing here. That's what the effect of that retrograde motion is. So Pythagoras, as I mentioned in my last video, believed that all these heavenly spheres, they emitted their own musical tone, and through their tone, uh, eventually all equates to the well-being of the Earth. What their harmony is resonating uh, affects the Earth in an overall type of atmosphere, and it's interesting to see this. Alright, sorry about that. I had to pause the video there for a moment. But as you can see, the orbit of Saturn, right? Saturn being Kronos and the keeper of time. He's called like the Lord of the Rings, and has so many associations with him. Like people say he's like it's also Satan. You get Satan from Saturn. Um, and when you see it making this outer orbit, and it's much more of a it has, because it's so large, it has a lot of these retrograde motions. You can kind of see it as keeping all the other orbits in their place, because there's so much retrograding going on. It's very slow, obviously, but it's kind of ominous in a way when you see that the Saturn and how it's doing that massive like spirographic orbit. And it's beautiful too, though. The overall sense of Ptolemy's model is quite beautiful. It's very symmetrical, and you can see the harmony in it. If you take apart a watch, like a mechanical watch, kind of looks like the gears, all the different gears that you would see in it, dealing with the different turnings of time, and it's just strange when you see Saturn like this. It's totally different, and when you take into account like the heliocentric model, it's for example, here's the Earth's orbit. You know, people are shown when they're shown the solar system, they're shown like the sun in the middle, and then all these perfect circles going around the sun. But that is absolute 110% misinformation. Because the orbit of the Earth is highly eccentric, and you can see this is the actual orbit of the Earth, and it's. I mean, just look at that. That is not a perfect circle. And when you're talking about gravity and the physics of the of I don't know, modern science, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, you're given billions and billions of years that you're stuck in this orbit. Like that just doesn't happen at all. Like when does it finally get sucked in? When does it finally escape? It doesn't. It's like somehow locked. But all the other, I mean, we're not even talking about Mercury or Venus here. So, and the thing is, all those other orbits too of the other planets, they're just as elliptical, like if not more eccentric. So when you're looking at Ptolemy's version, it's so harmonious, and it just makes a lot of sense to like an unindoctrinated mind when you have an open mind and you see it. Um, how this would work out on a flat Earth model, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure if it needs to change on a flat Earth model but it has to, because the sun does not make this perfect circle around the planet, especially on the flat Earth model. Like here we can see the sun needs to make its transits in order for the seasons to work. The sun would need to transit from Cancer to Capricorn and then back again. Cancer to Capricorn, Capricorn to Cancer, etc., etc. Um, so how it would work on the flat Earth, I'm not 100% sure. Um, but on terms of just this model alone, and I don't think, as far as the moon and the sun, if like we just removed those and kept the planets, I don't think those need to change. I don't think they change on the flat Earth. Although it seems, if you take into account that Venus and Mercury, their orbits tend to be more inward than the sun and the moon, uh, then you should see more of the retrograde motion. At least more of the, like this part right here, like the little circle that it makes. So I haven't done much research into the Ptolemy's model, um, but looking at it, it's beautiful to look at. So I just wanted to share this and especially when it came into what I was talking about with this School of Athens painting. And I could have gone into this. Has a lot to do, Pythagoras has a lot to do with Apollo and his theory that the planets, um, in music and harmony, sound and vibration, him, Apollo, and Plato are all very much the centerpiece of this on this left side here, as opposed to the Aristotle, Athena, and Ptolemy, if you want to take those into um, respective contrasts. So regardless, very interesting to think about, and when I have more time, I'm gonna do more research into the planetary movements. But yeah, so that's it for me for now. So peace and love, everybody.